your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
6:32 this morning here on the Morning Drive with Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Okay, the clarification is the percentage was Coach Saban and Coach Meyer's win percentage. It wasn't their vote percentage.
That makes more sense.
That makes more sense. So I got ahead of my skis a little bit. Okay. As Marquise says, that's what happens when you let Chuckles lead. We end up off track. Okay.
Chuckles always leads.
Right. So
he's the leader of this pack.
We generally get off track. Somebody says this. I think it's just more timing more than anything else. It is timing because just from the standpoint when Graham Harrell was coaching at Purdue or other places, because he says, isn't it ironic that Graham got in the College Hall of Fame before he was ever considered for the Texas Tech Hall of Fame? That's not crazy. He says, don't tell me it's because they couldn't find the date that would coincide with his open date. They can move the induction date to any game they want. Well, that's not. There's logistics that take place there. I'll stand up for Texas Tech on that. That there's some logistics. There's moving parts, but it is ironic. But I'm sure the university has more times than not told Graham Harrell, you are going to be in the Texas Tech Hall of Fame. When are you available? Right?
You would think so. You would guess so. I mean, I don't know that specifically, but that would be my guess.
Yeah, it's pretty. I would bet a lot of money on that because they're trying to get that. I'm sure trying to get that done. So at any rate, if you have a thought or a comment on that, hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that, of the mobile app. The Dallas Cowboys continue their search for a new head football coach. Now they want to interview Seattle's Leslie Frazier for the position. He is a position coach. He's a veteran NFL coach. He's currently the assistant head coach for the Seattle Seahawks. The other guy, and I just can't imagine that this guy could be the head football coach of the Dallas Cowboys when he failed so miserably with the New York Jets and he had oodles and oodles of talent and couldn't manage that circus. Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh is not going to be the head football coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a guy that Jerry feels like he can control and all that good stuff. Who knows?
You know, I've kind of.
He wouldn't be my choice if I was a Cowboys fan, but.
Who would be your choice? Or do you have one?
If I was a Cowboys fan right now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like in reality?
Yes, in reality.
I would want Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Well, you know what? Let's just ask the Magic 8 Ball.
Oh, let's do it.
Okay. I feel like we need some music for this, Jeff.
How are we going to ask the Magic 8 Ball who's going to be the next Cowboys head coach?
We're going to ask it's going to be a specific question because that's what you have to do. Will Deion Sanders be the head football coach of the Dallas Cowboys for the 2025 football season? Magic 8 Ball says it is certain.
Magic 8 Ball is drunk.
Now ask the 8 Ball if he's going to be coaching Colorado.
Will Deion Sanders coach the Colorado Buffaloes this year? As I see it, yes. See, it's not fair. You can't do that. The first question is always the best question for the Magic 8 Ball.
Well, technically, he's coaching them right now, right? He's there, they're in workouts and stuff like that.
You confuse the Magic 8 Ball, Jeff.
I really think it's going to be Kellen Moore.
Wow. Okay. Man, I hope. I think if Jerry wanted to unite. Not that does the Cowboy fan base need to be united? Is it?
No, we're pretty all well united against him.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm with Jeff. I don't think that's a concern.
Okay. Does it need to be boosted up in terms of confidence or hope or, rally? Because it'd obviously be a splash hire to hire Deion Sanders.
Does it need to be boosted up?
Yeah, just rallied. The troops be rallied and feel like that there's.
I just don't think Jerry cares about those kind of things. It's not a college where you need your fan base to support you and donate and all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't think Jerry needs that. They're the Dallas freaking Cowboys, man.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever they do turns to gold.
Okay. Yeah.
Jerry's gold.
Jerry's gold.
Now, not on the field, it doesn't necessarily, but
yeah. See, I think the Cowboy fans would feel like that the one guy that could at least tell Jerry he's wrong is Deion Sanders. Isn't that wild? Of all the people in the world to coach a football team, we're now saying Deion Sanders is the perfect fit for the Dallas Cowboys.
I think that Deion has shown me enough as a coach, and I think that players would respect Deion, and I think that Deion would know how to work with Jerry well enough. I mean, I just think that's one that makes sense to me. Will it happen? I don't think so. I think Deion will stay with Colorado. I think Deion will turn the Cowboys down. I don't know that he'll ever get offered the position either, though.
Yeah, because I think Jerry wants to kind of treat it like you're asking your girlfriend or your potential girlfriend to be your bride. That's a question you know the answer to before you ask it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like that'd be kind of a bad high if you get down on a knee and ask that question and she says, you're reading this relationship wrong.
Yeah, and the interesting part is, many guys, if they're considering head coaches, if they're considering another job or they're in the running for another job, they don't want that out there because they feel like it would hurt their recruiting. I don't think this is hurting Deion at all.
No, I mean,
Deion will talk to recruits about, hey man, the Dallas Cowboys want me. Right. I mean, I don't think this is going to hurt Colorado at all. It's just a just completely different dynamic with Deion and his recruiting ways and all that at Colorado. And again, as I questioned before, and I say now, I think Deion can coach. He definitely can motivate players, and I don't think what he did at Colorado was just about him having two great players. They helped, no doubt, but I still do think Deion can coach.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Halfway through the month already. Here's Jeff McGuire with This Day in Sports History.
Starting in 1952, and I think of Dr. Mike Gustafson every time I bring this guy up. He's a big fan. This would be the U.S. Standard Board clears Stan Musial to get an $85,000 salary.
Big money.
Why they had to clear it? I don't know. I'm sure Gus can tell us. I'm sure it's his guy.
I know, but I mean, okay. We'll set an alarm for 3:00 today.
I'll bet Gus texts me before we get done.
Oh, there's no doubt.
So I don't need to set an alarm for 3. I'll just wait for the text to show up. 1966. Chicago is granted an NBA franchise to be called the Bulls. Now, it's their third NBA franchise in the city after the Chicago Stags from 46 to 50 and the Chicago Packers / Zephyrs, who are now the Washington Wizards. I wonder if they're going to make it.
I bet they will.
1972. Super Bowl VI. Tulane Stadium, New Orleans, Louisiana. Dallas Cowboys beat the Miami Dolphins 24-3. Roger Staubach, your MVP.
Got the kind of the monkey off their back, winning the big one. Those are the days when the Cowboys could win the big one.
And
because they couldn't beat the Packers before the Super Bowl started. They couldn't beat the Packers for the NFL championships.
And can't beat the Packers last year.
Now they can't get to the big one.
They can't even. Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they can't.
2008, Texas Tech beat number 10 Texas A&M 68-53. It was Bob Knight's 900th career victory. Martin Zeno scored 19 points, and Trevor Cook added a career-high 14 for the Red Raiders.
Love me some Martin Zeno.
No kidding. He was fun.
Trevor Cook. Do
I'm
not
struggling.
remember that.
I'm with you on that.
And in 2020, newly appointed manager Carlos Beltran and the New York Mets mutually agreed to part ways because of his role in the Houston Astros sign-stealing scandal. Their third manager forced out of a job as a result of the allegations.
Yeah, never got to even coach a game for him.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to put a food down today. I will effort that during
We've
the break.
all forgotten to put the food down, Jeff.
Yeah. Because I've got happy birthday, former Red Raider football player Lloyd Hill is 54 today.
Wow.
Kate Moss, 51. James May, 62. John Carpenter, 77. Joe Flacco, 40. Albert Pujols, 45. And Mark Trumbo is 39. And on this day in 1991, at midnight in Iraq, the United Nations deadline for the Iraq withdrawal from Kuwait expires, and the Pentagon prepares to commence offensive operations to forcibly eject Iraq from its 5-month occupation of its oil-rich neighbor. At 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the first fighter aircraft were launched from Saudi Arabia and off U.S. and British aircraft carriers in the Persian Gulf on bombing missions over Iraq. All evening, aircraft from the U.S.-led military coalition pounded targets in and around Baghdad as the world watched and events transpired on television footage transmitted via satellite from Baghdad and elsewhere. At 7 o'clock, Operation Desert Storm, the code name for the massive U.S.-led offensive against Iraq, was formally announced at the White House. That is this day in sports history.
6:49 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to WT973.com for that, of the mobile app. The Visual Edge IT hotline remains open at 806-771-0973. The second edition of Red Raider Basketball with Grant McCaslin is tonight. We'll have that at 6 o'clock here on WT973 as they'll talk Red Raider basketball and presumably Big 12 basketball, as well as we're into the meat of the season, Jamie.
Yes.
We're into the meat of the season. So this is the time where you've got to kind of buckle up, so to speak, and get
time where it gets fun for us fans.
Absolutely, kind of put your tough guy helmet on and go. Okay, just got to grind away for some college basketball and get you ready to be in position to be in a good spot for postseason tournament play. So
hot and spicy food day, by the way.
It's National Hot and Spicy Food Day.
Yep, hot and spicy food day. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Chuck.
Oh, that's. What do you mean,
inquiring minds wanted to know, I'm sure, somewhere.
No. Nothing.
Maybe not the three of us, but somebody wanted to know.
Nothing to be there. Any thought that Bill Belichick is going to leave North Carolina and go to the Dallas Cowboys? I think that's been put to rest. He's working on his staff. He's hired a special teams coach. He's hired a SEC coach. He's hiring people. So I don't think he's hiring people to join him to then go to Dallas.
I'm more interested to find out if the opening weekend of North Carolina baseball, if he'll throw out the first pitch for any games.
Oh, because you'll be there.
The Red Raiders will be there.
Well, and you'll be there too, maybe.
Well, I want to see if he does it versus the Red Raiders.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Would you say, hey, can Coach Belichick come on, be on with us in the third inning? No, you won't have any interest.
I will not request that.
You don't have any interest in that.
I will not request that.
Hey, would you guys have any interest in talking to Bill Belichick? Not that.
If they asked, we would say yes. I will not request that.
But generally speaking,
Bill Belichick hates the media.
Right. And generally speaking, that doesn't happen.
He probably doesn't know that I might be his favorite media person ever. Because I'm not really into talking. He might actually this is the kind of guy I want to interview me.
Jamie Lent is going to talk to you. He doesn't like to talk. Oh, okay, great.
He also believes in coach speak.
He also believes in coach speak.
But I am not a fan of Belichick. I think you can not want to give out information and not be a jerk the same time. I think those two things, I think you can be nicer.
You've never had like an opposing team's like stars or celebrities or coaches or anything on any baseball broadcast, have you?
No.
I mean, you might have.
That's not true. You had Cam Warren on your radio, on your broadcast.
Yeah, but he's opposing team.
Yeah.
Like opposing. Like you didn't, you never like, and you guys don't generally have a whole lot of guests on during your broadcast because you focus on the game. There was which I don't know.
What a concept!
What a concept! There was a show in. I just thought of this. I think this would be if we didn't have such a great show at noon. The bottom line every day. This is a show idea for you. They used to do this in Chicago, and I was at Ditka's restaurant. This is like, I don't know, late 80s, mid 80s, somewhere around in there. And they had this radio show that would broadcast from Ditka's. And Wally Moon was the host of this show. And he would walk around and he would just interview guests. And at this particular lunch, I mean, he would just recognize people in the crowd, like athletes or celebrities or actors, actresses. It's Chicago. And in Ditka's at that point in time was like one of these spots to go. And me and my buddy just went there and we had some lunch and couldn't really afford it, but we wanted to go there and just kind of check it out. But I'll never forget Wally Moon just walking from table to table to table going, "Oh, here we have so-and-so. Hey, what are you having for lunch today?" And then they would talk.
I'm guessing you want to host that show.
Oh, I think I would be if you're going to say to somebody, who's going to be the Wally Moon of Double T 97.3, I don't think there's any question who that is.
Well, all I know is that when they played an alumni baseball game a few years ago, and Mike Gustafson was walking around interviewing the players during the game while they were on the field. It was phenomenal.
Well, he's a guy that could certainly
Gus
do
was
that.
Awesome at it.
Yes.
Of course, he knew all those guys.
Absolutely.
He knew stats, and just was full of info, and it was phenomenal. Gus did awesome, and it was really, really fun to listen to if you were there in the stadium. So
yeah,
I feel like Gus could probably be a pretty good Wally Moon too.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, maybe we could co-host it.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit nervous anytime I brought up Gus and Moon though.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Here's a name from the past. We have not heard from her in quite some time. Guns Up Gal in Georgia asked the question, who was the he Chuck was just referring to? I missed it. Joel Klatt. But we have not heard from Guns Up Girl in quite some time, Jamie.
Oh, well, maybe she's been busy just listening in.
Maybe so. You can hang up and listen, right? Mm-hmm. One of the other things that he said, and I wanted to get your take on this, is that there needs to be a collective bargaining agreement with the players. He says if we don't have a collective bargaining agreement with the players, all these fixes won't be able to happen because a player could sue and would likely win. So once we get a CBA in place, we can make fixes.
That's the thing, though. You've got new players coming in every year.
Right.
You've got new players, old players exiting.
A lot of them.
Actually, they never exit. So you got new players coming in every single year that are going to want to be involved in. And you're renegotiating this thing every single year? Because the high school kids didn't get a chance to negotiate.
Yeah, I didn't agree to that. That was some other people that agreed to that.
Yeah. Them's the rules. Sorry.
And you know what happens?
Yeah, because we've been doing that a lot lately in college sports.
Yeah, right.
What does that lead to? A strike. So now we're striking college athletics because of the collective bargaining agreement. Follow the train of thought.
Man.
That's all I'm asking these people to do.
No, that's a great point, Jeff.
I told Chuck during the break that, and I'll stand by it, I think Joel Klatt smoked too much weed when he was at Colorado.
Okay.
I think his brain is fried a little bit.
Oh, man.
As I'm also hearing all of these things that he says he wants to change, this sounds like an angry fan at a football game ranting and raving, and he just wrote everything down.
Yeah.
Everything that guy said, he wrote down and said, we're going to fix all of it.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people come up and rant and rave to him in airports and restaurants and things that he's let me run one other thing by you that he thought would be good. He wants to
cheaper concession stands,
nationalize officiating, and make changes to replay. Get rid of conference refs. When you have officials that work for a conference, there's going to be a certain perception of foul play involved. Each conference also emphasizes different things, which is why games are officiated differently from conference to conference.
I think I'm with him on this one. I'll go for that.
Okay.
I'll go for centralized
officiating,
national officials. Yep.
Okay. Because remember, back in the day,
and I do agree with this point that some officials call, some conferences call things a little bit differently at times, and so, maybe every once in a while we'd get some of the good ones in the Big 12.
and also remember back in the day, Jamie, it wasn't that long ago that you had American League and National League umpires in Major League Baseball, and you'd always hear, well, that's a high strike league or a low strike league, or that they have a little bit wider strike zone than this one, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that kind of stuff is kind of going away now.
Yeah.
They're graded and judged on every pitch they throw.
But there's also there's no American League umps and National League umps. They're they're centralized. I also remember back in the day, and this is, I don't know, do you recall Major League Baseball before the chest protectors were inside their shirts?
Yes.
You'd have some of these guys that would have the big, huge chest protectors, and depending on their size, whether they were short or tall, would affect their ability to kind of look over the chest protector. And that was always an announcing kind of thing. Well, Harry Dunlap here, he's got a little bit larger chest protector than Harry Wendelstadt, was all part of the vernacular, of being a baseball broadcaster.
Boy, I miss getting to talk about chest protector.
Here's the 3-2.
Yeah. Instead, again, just focusing on the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How disappointing.
He also wants, with baseball, I feel like that you've got, I'm talking to the guy that's, does this for, all the tech games. And I feel like that your window of kind of opportunity to kind of stray a little bit is a little wider than football and basketball.
Are you jealous of me?
Sometimes I am. Sometimes I am. It's like there's like, wow, he gets to kind of pontificate and talk about the outfield grass and what's going on in the concession stand, and you got extra time and hours. And here's the 3-2. I was thinking about that. Oh man, I wanted to be a baseball announcer so bad. I loved listening to the different baseball announcers and thinking about it. Because that's like when I was growing up, everybody, other people are like, they're hitting the World Series home run, they're pitching the third. I'm calling the game. When I was in my pitch back in the backyard, here's the wind in the 3-2 pitch, grounding ball to third. It wasn't me doing it. No, I was never good enough to do that.
It wasn't Chuck Heinz with the 3-2.
Oh no, no, I was calling the game. I was calling the game. I wasn't.
So the neighbors thought you were a little off your rocker.
No, because we didn't have big yards, but we had a side yard. And I'm out there in the pitch back.
That's good.
Here's
kids to
dream, right?
Well, to dream, but also to have a sense of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Just to kind of make things up and go along and have fun and have imagination. That's what my word was.
Here's something I learned yesterday in picking up the young phenom from school. His parents and the grandma needed a favor, and so I picked up the young phenom. And he disclosed to me that him and one of his buddies at school, they call each other Brokowski. One's Bro and he's Kowski, okay? But they have come up with this fake YouTube channel, and they have these conversations on their fake YouTube channel. So their imaginative minds, at 11 and 12, have come up with this fake YouTube channel that has all these different topics it's more of a gaming kind of thing that they have like gaming commentary, I think, that goes on.
Okay.
Okay, so I have to ask, only for morbid curiosity now. And for the rest of the listening audience, I apologize if this doesn't interest you at all. Did you have to have a secret word to pick up the young phenom?
Did not, but I was supposed to go to a certain spot to pick him up, and I didn't want to get in that long line of moms, and so I circumvented, and then I had to circle back to where he was. So.
I just know growing up, if anybody other than the designated...
Oh, no, he was. They were outside, right. You had to go inside. No, I didn't have to go inside.
Whoever it was, if like Dad was supposed to pick me up and Mom picked me up, she had to give the secret word.
No, there was no secret word.
She was the one that made the secret word.
There was no secret word.
I thought you meant just like the kid had a secret word with his imagination. You meant...
No. Like there's a family secret word that someone else is picking you up
no.
today.
I think now at the beginning of the year, they list the people that it's allowed. I think that's kind of what it is.
Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. They
wouldn't let you go pick him up, Jeff.
I thought that was pretty funny that he and his buddy have a fake YouTube channel. Kind of made me proud, actually. It's a proud moment. Okay, so one thing that he also said with regard to, he said that college football should also implement the former XFL's Super Challenge, which allows coaches to challenge anything, yes, even penalties once per game.
I don't think you should be able to
challenge penalties.
Challenge judgment calls.
Okay. Yeah. I think you're right on that.
Okay. Any kind of pass interference stuff. I mean, again, we could talk all day long about the holding thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to overturn holding. I don't think they're going to overturn pass interference stuff. So, but if there's a face mask and you say, no, look at that. I don't think he grabbed his face mask, AKA the TCU game.
Yeah.
Okay. Then for the Red Raiders, then I would like that. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah. Somebody says this. Klatt sounds like he's openly politicking for the college football commissioner job. Well,
yeah, that's kind of what I thought. This guy sounds like he's running for office. He's promising everything and has no idea how to deliver any of it.
Are you a new listener to this show?
You're not running for office. This guy sounds like he's running for office.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, guys. Kind of going off of our buddy Joel Klatt and some of his thoughts. And one of his thoughts, he's picking names out of hats to play other Power 4 conferences, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to ask you today. You get to pick 3 games, one against for the next 3 years, one against each of the Power 4 conferences.
Ooh, okay.
And you can tell me that 2 of them are on the road and one of them, only one, is at home. So you get one from each, the Big Ten, the ACC, and the SEC. Who do you want to play and where?
Okay, I'm just going to take the low-hanging fruit. I want to play Texas here.
Okay.
I want to play, and maybe I should pick somebody other than that because it feels like we've kind of been there, done that. So I'm going to pick somebody different that hasn't been here. Because we've been to their place a couple of times, but Georgia's never been here. I wouldn't mind seeing Georgia come here, so I'll change my mind from Texas just to be different. Okay, I'll say Georgia from the Southeastern Conference. From the Big Ten, we've had Oregon here recently. I always loved USC. I'd love to see USC. I loved them when they were in the Pac-12. I loved watching their games. I loved the dun 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 dun. I didn't love the Cotton Bowl, when we went there. I was excited about seeing USC. I wasn't excited about seeing Keyshawn Johnson, scoring touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. So I'll say USC out of the Big Ten. It seems strange to say. And then Florida State. I think they should bring their horse too. Have our horse and their horse. The Seminole, with their, don't let them do the flaming arrow thing, but just have them bring their horse.
Okay, which one is the home game? Florida State?
which one is the home game? Okay, Georgia's the home game. Florida State was the road game, and USC is the road game too.
Okay, Jeff.
Road game LSU. Road game
one.
Michigan. Home game Clemson.
That's if we were on Family Feud right now, I'd be like, that's a good answer. LSU would be a night game, right?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay, Jeff. Road game Michigan, road game LSU, home game Florida State. Those would be my three.
Were you the same as him?
No, the home game was different.
The home game was different. I had Clemson. He had Florida State.
I would love to go see the Red Raiders play at the Big House and at LSU, and even if I wasn't getting to go, just to watch on television the Red Raiders play those places, and then I'd love to see the Florida State folks roll into Lubbock.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and really, there may be other teams that I would prefer more than Florida State, but I wanted the Michigan and the LSU, so that takes the SEC and Big Ten out.
Yeah.
So then you're left with picking a home game against an ACC school. Maybe I should have wanted Syracuse to come.
Oh, there you go. or North Carolina.
That's right.
And Bill Belichick. Bullfighter says Nebraska home because he likes Nebraska. We've already beaten them to a pulp here. Bama.
I think they got us a few times too.
I know. I don't want to spoil the good taste in my mouth that's still left over there. SEC Bama. Yeah, I think that'd be fun to go to see a game at Alabama.
When I think about great, awesome atmospheres, I don't think about Alabama.
Okay.
I mean, I'd rate Ole Miss, Georgia, Florida, a lot of those, Tennessee.
That doesn't mean it's not a tough place to play.
Right. But I just don't think of their atmosphere as being fun.
That's fair.
LSU's a party.
So is Ole Miss, right?
Yeah.
Toddy, that whole thing. FSU away, Florida State away. Somebody else says A&M, Florida State, Michigan. I'm going to assume the A&M game is here. Okay. Somebody wants to bring Ole Miss to Lubbock. Okay. All right.
Be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That was a good question.
Don't act so surprised.
Well, no, I don't. No, it was just that was a good question. That was a really good question. I was like, okay.
I wish that every year we had a Power 4 team on our schedule, and every other year one was home, one was away, whatever.
Now Bullfighter's changing his mind. He said, actually, I'd change Bama to Tennessee. I forgot about them.
Yeah, I think Tennessee
would be a fun place to go to.
Yeah. He wants Nebraska here. I don't want Syracuse here because I don't want to have to root against one of my two teams. I don't like it when they play each other.
This definitely thought we were talking about basketball. Scratch bringing Ole Miss football here. Okay.
Oh, man. Do you want Chris Beard to come here?
We've been there, done that.
Yeah, but it was fun.
It was fun.
We can do it again.
I don't know. They're pretty good right now.
You know what? So are you.
I feel like the story would be past, right?
Yes.
No, everybody feels like everybody across the country feels like, that's old news, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Chris Beard, Texas Tech. Texas Tech has not forgotten Chris Beard and how much we dislike him.
I got to tell you, I don't know if I'd have known, because if I'd have known, we wouldn't have gone, because we went to Graceland, and that's kind of one of those things you do once, and we went to had some barbecue there in Memphis on that Saturday. But when I looked up at sitting there eating some ribs, and I'm trying to figure out who's playing. Oh, it's Memphis. We're playing Ole Miss today. I'm like, oh my God! And then I saw on the bench, and I see like all these guys from Lubbock. It's like, here's Chris Beard, and here's Mark Adams, and here's Al Pinkins, and here's the strength and conditioning, and blah 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 blah. It's like a lot of familiar faces there. It was like, holy smokes, it was weird. It's weird.
I have not seen one basketball game that Ole Miss has played since Chris Beard has been there. I probably will watch them when Patton Pinkins is there next year, but I have no desire right now.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Come to you this morning from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line, you know the drill, and the Visual Edge IT hotline. If you care to speak with any of us, 806-771-0973. And I frankly don't know why you wouldn't.
Why would you not? Yeah.
You want to speak with us. Yeah. I'm sure you've got some kind of lingering question, as far as that is concerned, I'm sure that there's something out there that we can help you with. On my recent road trips with the Lady Raiders, I've been on the way home from trips. I've been watching season 1 of Frasier. I think he's like, hello, Bob. How can I help you? And then there's some kind of problem that he's trying to help solve. Then it turns into chaos. With Frasier's radio show. Okay. I kind of felt,
kind of feels like ours.
Kind of feels like
chaos.
A little familiar, yeah. Chaos, yeah. It was chaos is good, right? Sometimes chaos is good. Can help.
Makes it interesting for a radio show. Yeah.
Affect change, right? I mean, that's kind of like being at the circus, right? Every day, don't you feel? Do you feel like that, Jamie?
We're at the yes.
That you're at the circus every day.
I feel like there's some of that, yeah.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I think that is good. All right, so I found my sheet, okay? On December the 31st of 2024, we made predictions with regard to the how many games the winning team would have in the Big 12, how many teams who would win the Big 12, how many games that Texas Tech would win, the place for Texas Tech, and then how many teams would get in the NCAA tournament, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I feel like that here we are 5 games in, that we should do this again. The Red Raiders are 3-2 with all 3 of those games being on the road, right? Isn't that strange? So would you like to play this game again?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So this is January the 15th, so it's been a couple weeks since we've done this. So first of all, tell me, how many games do you think the winning team is going to have in the Big 12 Conference? Previously, you said 15.
I'm up to 16.
16. Okay. I'm actually going to drop to 14. Jeff, you previously said 16.
I'm going to keep it there.
16. Okay.
Jeff doesn't sway as much as you and I do. He's got a good solid base that keeps him grounded.
Grounded? That's a word. Yeah, you're probably right about that.
That's a word.
Previously, we all said Kansas was going to win the Big 12. Jamie, going to change that?
Yep.
Okay.
I will take Iowa State.
Okay. Iowa State's 5-0. Houston's 5-0. And Arizona is 5-0 at this point in time.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll come out of the week with a L.
Okay. Hope you're right about that. I think I'm going to change to Houston. Jeff?
I'm sticking with Kansas, although we're wavering on that decision.
Now I don't feel like he's just grounded. I just feel like he's slow moving his feet.
We've seen
too lazy
Kansas
to move.
We have seen Kansas have a non-Kansas level team and still win this conference. It has gotten tougher, but until you beat the champ, they are still the champ.
Well, Iowa State just beat them by 17.
And I know Iowa State just won last night.
Pretty good win
but
for
it's
them.
not the full. It's one game and not the whole season.
Yep.
Pretty big test for Iowa State on Saturday. They'll play at West Virginia, and I would say, I think it's fair to
the
say
bigger test was Kansas at home last night.
I think the bigger test was on the road in Lubbock.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty big test. And this is because I think, would you not say that West Virginia is the surprise team so far in the Big 12? If you had to say there's a surprise team in the Big
Iowa
12?
State. I didn't think they'd be this good.
Okay.
I would have predicted West Virginia to be better than UCF, and they're both at 3-2.
And West Virginia's 12-4 overall, and they're ranked too. So, well, they were ranked. They're not ranked now, presently. Okay. I put wavering by your KU pick. Okay. Number of wins for Texas Tech in the Big 12 Conference. Previously, we all said 12. Red Raiders are 3-2.
I'll stick with 12.
I'm going to drop to 11. Oh, I hate that. That means you're 11-9. I don't like that.
That's how math works, yes.
It's always a smart aleck. Okay. Jeff?
Sticking with 12.
Sticking with 12. Place for Texas Tech.
I could have just let Jeff nap this segment.
Could have. Place for Texas Tech. Previously, Jamie, you said 5. I said 4. Jeff said 5. Jeff changed his answer from 6 to 5 while we were talking previously.
I'm gonna say 5.
5?
That's what I said last time?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to move down to 5 from 4. Jeff?
Yeah, staying at 5.
Staying at 5.
Staying at 5. Staying at 5.
Now, how many teams do you think from the Big 12 will get into the NCAA? Previously, Jamie, you said 9. I said 10. Jeff said 8.
I'll stick with 9. Jeff will stick with 8.
You stick with 8? I'm going to move to 9. Okay, so now I don't know. I think these were the bottom 3 teams.
You say I'm boring, Heinz. I mean, he didn't change one single pick.
Who? Me?
Jeff.
Me.
Jeff, yeah.
It's still too early for me to jump off what my preseason stuff was for the Big 12.
Yeah.
That's really where it's at.
Somebody says Jeff didn't change his answer from 6 to 5. He said 5 to 6 range and settled on 5. Okay. Man, would you like to come host this show? I just didn't remember that, man. That's pretty good.
Don't be angry.
I'm not angry. It's just
This is reminding us.
Why did we have 3 teams? Were those the bottom 3 teams that we picked?
Probably.
Okay. Well, we'll do that here. We'll do that next. Okay, we'll do that real quick next.
I don't know if I can remember.
I got it for you. I've got them written down for you.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.